Brother Muhammad Sheikh. We will now open the floor for question and answer session. And first of all, we will have the questions from the ladies' side. And after ladies have been completed, then we'll have from the gent side. First, we prefer the ladies. So whoever wants to ask question, they can raise their hand, and we will ask. One of our coordinator will come to you. You just stand on your seat, and then have your question. And then Brother Muhammad Sheikh will give you answer. So first, ladies have to complete the question, then we'll shift to gents. Okay, now I open the floor for question. Please, Brother Muhammad Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum. Why in Al-Nisa 475 people are asking for a wali protector other than Allah?
Sorry?
People are asking for a wali protector other than Allah.
In Surah, what Surah reference to?
475.
Okay, this is the ayat, Surah An-Nisa 475 ayat. وَمَا لَكُمْ لَا تُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَالْمُسْتَضْعَفِينَ مِنَ الرِّجَالِ وَالنِّسَاءِ وَالْوِلْدَانِ الَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا أَخْرِجْنَا مِنْ هَذِهِ الْقَرْيَةِ الظَّالِمِ أَهْلُهَا وَاجْعَلْنَا مِنْ لَدُنْكَ وَلِيًّا وَاجْعَلْنَا مِنْ لَدُنْكَ نَصِيرًا. And why should you not fight in the way of Allah and of those who are being weak and are ill-treated, men, women and children, who say, our Lord, rescue us from this town whose people are oppressors, and raise from us, from you, one who will be a protector, and raise from us, from you, one who will be a helper. In this ayah, the question in this verse, there is an ayah which says, وَاجْعَلْنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ وَلِيًّا. You make for us from you a wali, a protector. وَاجْعَلْنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ نَصِيرًا. And you make for us one of the helper. So question is that why the prayer should be that Allah, you be our protector. Why not like this? Why not like that? Allah, you be the protector. But you are asking that the ayah is saying that we are asking Allah that you make for us a protector from among us, and you make for us a helper from among us, and rescue us from this city, who are the people, are the oppressors. So now what has happened, basically I explain in that ayah that we believers are also protectors to each other, believing men or believing women. First of all, Allah is the protector, right? Messenger is the protector, and we believers are the protector of each other. So now in this ayah, we are asking that Allah, you appoint, meaning you appoint or you make from among us a protector. You make from among us a helper. We are asking Allah for help, that you make from among us a protector, a wali, and you make from amongst us a helper, so that we will be rescued from the people who are the oppressor from the city. That's the basic problem. That's the issue. So now you see, Allah works through people. Allah sends people, among people the messengers. Allah sends among the people the protector, the helper. So that is why we are asking Allah that you appoint her a protector or the helper. Similarly, you see, I would like to add in my own words, if suppose there is a problem and you want to see a doctor in any problem, so before going to the doctor, you must ask from Allah that, oh Allah, this is the problem, you have got the shifa. He's the shifa. Shifa means healing, not shafa, shifa. Shifa means healing. You have got the healing, you have got the power of healing. So now you give us the strength to the doctor so that he can heal my child. Not that the doctor saved me. You must ask Allah. Like here we are asking Allah, you from you give us the protector of the wali, or from you give us the helper. Similarly, you can ask Allah that you give us a doctor that he can help my child or help me. So whenever you are in problem, you must ask Allah for help, and expecting Allah should govern the man who is helping you, who knows that medicine and science. So, but before going there, you have asked Allah in your prayers. So Allah will listen to you and give you shifa. So you will not trust the doctor, you will trust Allah. Otherwise it goes the other way around. Because people go to the stones and ask for, the stone doesn't do anything. It is Allah given, but people start believing in the stones, or believing in doctors, or believing in certain people. It is not the people who are doing the works, it is Allah all the time. We have read the whole lecture, it is Allah doing. Nothing, nobody can harm you, nobody can profit you. It is always Allah doing the. Similarly, in this ayah we are asking Allah, because through the work, the system works is like that. Among us are the helpers, among us are the protectors, and then we become protector to each other.
Assalamu alaikum. I have a question. One can intercede with Allah's permission, like in 255 Allah says. So can you explain this, that how one can intercede?
You see, in Baqarah 2, this ayat is very famous. You see, there is ayat in the famous Al-Baqarah 2, this is known as Ayat al-Kursi, I suppose. Surah Al-Baqarah 255. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum la ta'khudhu sinatun wa la nawm lahu ma fis samawati wa ma fil ard man dhal ladhi yashfa'u 'indahu illa bi idhnihi ya'lamu ma bayna aydihim wa ma khalfahum wa la yuhituna bi shay'in min 'ilmihi illa bima sha'a wasi'a kursiyyuhu as-samawati wal ard wa la yu'uduhu hifdhuhuma wa huwal 'aliyyul 'azim. Allah, no God except Him, the living, the lasting, the eternal, no slumber can seize Him nor sleep. Whatever is in the skies and in the earth are for Him. Who is there that can intercede in His presence except with His permission? He knows what is before them and after them, and nor shall they encompass of His knowledge except what He wills. His throne extends over the skies and the earth, and He feels no fatigue in guarding and preserving them, and He is high, the supreme. Now in this verse, if you note, the point you are asking is, who is there that can intercede in His presence except with His permission? Man dhal ladhi yashfa'u 'indahu illa bi idhni. Who can intercede in His presence except with His permission? So total, I read you in ayah in the lecture that total shafa'at, total intersection is in Allah's possession. If He gives permission to someone, he can intercede by the permission of Allah. So suppose my works are wrong, my works are not good, I am not a good person, I am not doing good, and I am expecting a good person should intercede for me. So he cannot ask Allah for my intercession. Allah will not permit him, He will not give permission to intercede for me until I amend myself. So the permission granted by Allah for intercession are for those who are amending. So if you look in the same Quran in Baqarah 2 in ayah verse number 48, وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمًا لَا تَجْزِي نَفْسٌ عَنْ نَفْسٍ شَيْئًا وَلَا يُقْبَلُ مِنْهَا شَفَاعَةٌ وَلَا يُقْبَلُ مِنْهَا شَفَاعَةٌ وَلَا يُؤْخَذُ مِنْهَا عَدْلٌ وَلَا هُمْ يُنصَرُونَ. And guard the day that no soul will reward to the other soul, and no intercession will be accepted from her, and no equality will be taken from her, and they will not be helped. So وَلَا يُقْبَلُ مِنْهَا شَفَاعَةٌ. So no soul will have any type of, Allah will not accept from anyone any shafa. Even intercession is given, permission is granted, but intercession will always for those who are amending. You see, intercession is not for those who are not doing anything. So those people who said these are our intercessors in the lecture, so they denied him. They denied them. So remember, there are people who think that they are the intercessors, but the real intercessors, permission granted by Allah, are for those. Like for example, even for Isa Salam, I will explain. On the Day of Judgment, Isa Salam, there is a question. Allah question to Isa Salam, that is in Surah Al-Maida 5, 117 and onwards, 16 and 17 and 18 onwards, 116 to 118. And then Allah says to Jesus, Isa, peace be upon him, and asking, did you say unto men that you worship yourself as God and your mother as God? So he denied. He said, no, I did not say this. You know what is in my heart and what is, I do not know what is in your heart. I did not say that people should worship God and myself as God. He denied. But still he is asking for forgiveness. In tu'adhibum fa innahum ibaduk wa in taghfir lahum fa innaka antal aziz. If you punish them, they are your servant, and if you forgive them, then surely you are exalted in power and wise. So now the intercession permission is granted, but they don't, the people who, if you read the further verse, the truthful will benefit from the truth. Isa Salam said it, but the result was the truthful will benefit from the truth on the day of judgment, this day. It is not that even if Isa Salam said it and they will be intercede. So the permission is granted, but the result remains your works and your actions and deeds. Otherwise, the total shafaat is with Allah, and He is not giving this shafaat permission granted to everybody. And He is not, like people are thinking like this, I do not practice and amend. I remain as I am, and I expect that He will do shafaat for me. About Muhammad Rasulullah, they say that on the day of judgment He will intercede. On the day of judgment, in Surah 25, 30 verse, وَقَالَ رَسُولُ, and the messenger will say, Ya Rabbi, inna qawmi takhadu hadal Qur'ana mahjura. And the messenger will say, my people took this Qur'an for Qur'an and abandoned it. So they did not take guidance from the Qur'an, they took the Qur'an but abandoned it. So he is not interceding, but he is saying, is complaining. He is complaining on the other on the day of judgment. He is not doing interceding, but people are thinking that he will intercede, but it's not in the Quran. It's written in the Gospel of Barnabas that Muhammad will intercede. So it's not in the ayahs of the Quran. And the Quran says, وَقَالَ رَسُولُ, Surah Furqan 25 verse 30, وَقَالَ رَسُولُ, Ya Rabbi, O my Lord, inna qawmi takhadu hadal Qur'ana mahjura. Surely my people took this Quran and forbidden it and abandoned it. They don't. So intercession means that people who lament, they will be interceded, not otherwise as such.
Sir, I have two questions.
Okay.
One is, does Allah mention any group of people by name as awliya, protector, other than Allah? Second is, for every subject there must be a teacher to teach that subject. Similarly, there should be a teacher of Quran who teaches it. What do you say about it?
Okay. The first question you asked for, the specific people are the Jews and the Christians mentioned in the Quran, and they are as awliya and protectors for each other. They are the specific people in the Quran, which I have already read. The second question about the teacher, who can be the teacher of the Quran? So Allah Himself explained the Quran in Surah Ar-Rahman, Surah chapter 55 and verse 1 to 4 ayat I read for you. Ar-Rahman allama al-Qur'an, khalaq al-insan, allama al-bayan. Surah Ar-Rahman chapter 5, 1 to 4. Ar-Rahman is the name of Allah. Ar-Rahman, the most gracious. Allama al-Qur'an, He has taught the Quran. Khalaq al-insan, He has created man. Allama al-bayan, He has taught him clarification. It is the duty of Allah. First of all, we must know that it is Allah who has taught the Quran, Ar-Rahman. So remember, it is He's the teacher, first teacher. Now, you see, as we know that there is always a scientist, and then the falling comes. So similarly, Allah is a teacher, then in the Quran, Allah has sent messengers. So the messenger's duty is, one of the call of the Ibrahim Islam, Ismail Islam is in Surah Baqarah 2, 129. رَبَّنَا وَابْعَثْ فِيهِمْ رَسُولًا مِّنْهُمْ يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِكَ وَيُعَلِّمُهُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. O our Lord, appoint a messenger amongst them who will recite your ayats, give the knowledge of the book, and he will teach the wisdom and justify them. So the messenger is the teacher, giving knowledge of the book, you see, giving the knowledge of the wisdom, he is reciting the ayahs. So we know that Allah is the teacher and the messenger the teacher. And now from afterwards, then we people are awliya, surplus of each other, protectors of each other. So if I know the ayahs and if I understand and practice, I can educate you and teach you. But we do not require interpreters. We have no right to interpret the ayahs. We can recite, read and translate and pass on the essence of the ayahs. Interpretation it means it is like allegories, allegorical, meaning the sentence, you read a sentence and then you interpret it and give meaning to the interpreter and give the meaning like we give to the poetry. Like, you know, in poetry, there is a shair, there's the stanzas, and then you interpret a poet's interpret. There are always different opinions and interpretation of one particular stanza. Because shairi or poetry it is always interpreted by people in various meanings. Quran denies that this is a poetry. Means it's a factual statements and it is based on facts, it's truth. It cannot be interpreted. Either you know the essence or you do not know the essence. Either we know that Allah is the teacher or we do not know the teacher. So in the Quran, Allah is the teacher, then this is a messenger is teacher, and we know there is an ayat also in the Quran, Surah Younus 10 and ayat 94. It says, فَإِن كُنْتَ فِي شَكٍّ مِمَّا أَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ فَاسْأَلِ الَّذِينَ يَقْرَؤُونَ الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ لَقَدْ جَاءَكَ الْحَقُّ مِنْ رَبِّكَ فَلَا تَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْمُمْتَرِينَ. So if you, Muhammad, is referring to the first person, are you in doubt from what we have revealed to you, then ask those who are reading Al-Kitab, the book before you. So that means they are reading, so Allah is asking the Muhammad Rasul, you go and ask those who are reading the book before you. So in other words, they are the teacher of the book. They have read the book, they have understood the book, and if you are coming to doubt, go and ask them. Ask the book before you. Definitely there has been come to you the truth from your Lord, so do not become from the doubtful ones. So we know that even people can be teachers. We can teach, but we cannot interpret. Interpret means like there are narrations, the ayahs of the Quran, there are events and hadiths in the Quran, and you interpret them. The knowledge of interpretation of events or of the dreams was given to Yusuf alayhi salam.
Sir, if you could turn on to page number 19, Al-Maida 35. O you who believe, take guard of Allah and seek the means towards Him and strive in His way so that you may prosper. So here,
page number?
Page number 19.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Ji.
Alright, so here Wasila is mentioned and seek the means towards Him, but it is not explained explicitly.
What is the Wasila?
What is the Wasila? And going through your lecture, we heard that you say that this is the Quran, the ayahs of the Quran that are the Wasila.
Yes, because it says وَابْتَغُوا إِلَيْهِ الْوَسِيلَةِ.
Alright. But if we turn to the next page, sir.
Yes.
Then those whom they call, Al-Isra 57, those whom they call, they are seeking the means towards their Lord, that who are the most closest one, and they hope of His mercy and fear His punishment. So if we read them together, again Wasila is mentioned, and you have already said that these are the two places where Wasila is mentioned. So these people are seeking the means towards Him, and the means are explained that who are the closest ones. Is this also a possible way of explaining this? That who are the
closest ones?
Closest ones, and are they the Wasila as well?
How did you come to know who are the closest one? By reading?
By reading the Quran, of course.
That is the Wasila.
Of course. But so among the Wasila, you can also have people as well.
Yeah, people. I explained to them. I explained in my lecture. The messengers the prophets are the closest ones.
All right.
So the people whom you are أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ يَبْتَغُونَ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِمُ الْوَسِيلَةَ. أَيُّ مَقْرُوب. Those people are seeking towards their Lord the wasila. That who are those? They are looking the means who are nearest to God.
Yes.
So the nearest ones are the messengers, but the wasila remains the ayahs, because when you read the ayah, you came to know, right? When you read an ayah, then you come to know that who are the closest ones, and we know the closest ones are the messengers.
Yes.
So this is the wasila. The people are seeking means towards the closest ones.
The people can be
of course,
wasilas.
messengers.
Wasilas. But again, when we read, believers can also be your protectors or awliyas.
Yes.
All right. So some believers, and that ayah that we just discussed, it also said that those appointed by God, they can also be wasilas. appointed by God. The ayat that just we discussed here.
Which one?
Sir, in which the people ask that from the oppressors of the city.
Okay.
So
yeah.
they ask for appointment
Yeah.
of God of a person
Yes.
yes.
Of a wali.
In that instance, an appointed person can be.
You see, in all cases,
Yes.
remember, in all cases, the ayat is the basic source.
Yes.
You see, if a person comes here and he says, I can help you or I can be a wasila, but I'm not quoting any ayats. So the basic thing, Allah is the protector, the messenger is the protector, or any human being can be each other's protectors, and even we are asking Allah to appoint, then Allah will appoint a person, a wali, who will be, of course, elaborating the ayahs. So it is always the ayahs, the means to reach God, or the Quran.
Of course.
That is the main wasila, or even man also wasila.
Yes.
Yes.
But those appointed by God can be your wasila. And
Yes, why not?
we can.
But we will identify them by how we will identify them?
By, of course, the Quran.
Yes.
And then the Prophet, messengers can
No,
appoint people.
That suppose I say
Yes.
this is the man appointed by God who is a wasila for mankind. Suppose X person. So we all have to identify him quoting ayahs, explaining ayahs, and even we will note him that he is practicing or not.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So the proceedings of today's live lecture stands adjourned. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.